Woo doggy. Well, it damn sure felt like they're doing some straight up tactics from May. Like just making volume fucking disappear while they make their decisions when to short and where to short. That's craziness. But still looking good. Still stepping higher over the last 5 trading days. Volume got sucked out of this thing for whatever reason at the end of the day. So if you're holding options and they lost a lot of value, that's why. Like, volume was just sucked out of it. Could have been people, day traders getting out. Could be people that got in early getting out. It doesn't really look like it, though. It looks like straight up shorting. Like, this thing wanted to go, still has buying pressure, wanting to fucking go, but they just keep shorting the shit out of it. And you short enough times, you will definitely slow down buying pressure. That's the tactic of it. But they just did. There was volume just in some areas. It just, like there, 6,000 just disappeared. So don't stress any of that if you're holding options. Again, the earliest options you coulda, shoulda, woulda been able to have don't expire until next Friday. These guys got a lot on their plate. This shit overall today was pretty, not terrible. See if this fucker gets shorted or not in the after hours, and by tomorrow it's down here again. That's typical. That's what would happen when this thing opens up and finishes, higher, and it goes on a run into the after hours. It usually gets the shit shorted out of it the next day prior to open, and then it's got to chase to catch back up. So we'll see if that happens. See what is going on. Ooh. Well. I'm not going to say that these things didn't really follow each other similarly, because they did. They still did. Still had similar pattern. AMC just apparently had some more buying pressure in the midst of what the fuck they were doing with both of these. But we had days like this too last week where it was weird. It just out of the gate, like AMC got a bigger bump in the after hours in the pre-market, which started it up higher. GME got that last week or the week prior. I think it might have been the week prior. And we finished down 2%, and GME finished up around like 7-8%, something like that. But they had very similar movement. Yeah, this is still very, very similar movement. A lot of it still looking like it's running on the same freight fucking train. Alright. And I can only imagine somebody didn't watch my video completely who decided to comment on the crypto thing and say everybody knows crypto runs together. That's not news. That's not my point. My point was not that crypto is running together. That's not even remotely close to the point I was making. Just grab some. Let's just grab some cryptos. Yeah, that is so ugly. Let's look at it. That's how y'all doing me? What are you, fucking broke? Bear with me, por favor. Gotta put this dog down. Alright, so for those of you not familiar with the crypto world, I'm going to give you a little background into my experience. I have been following crypto for roughly a decade. I have been engaged and invested in crypto for about 5 years. I have been following crypto and all things crypto, including charts and different currencies and, you know, specific utilizations, including ID coin and shit like that, for about 3 years now. So I have been looking at these charts longer than I've been looking at the stock market charts. I have been interested and invested in crypto longer than I have been invested in the actual stock market. So please understand me when I tell you that these things never have, up until May of this year, moved in tandem. Never. Now, ones that run on the same blockchains, like the Ethereum blockchain and Bitcoin's blockchain, yeah, you'll find some of those that run in similar fashion. And it wasn't until the end of last year, the Q4 of 2020, that many big institutions, many of them, there was some that were already in that got in early around 5 years ago, 6 years ago, but many bigger institutions started pouring into crypto at the end of last year, which is why you had these big fat run-ups at the beginning of the year. And then, of course, they opened it up to platforms like Robinhood and Webull so that you could pump up their money. You could pump up their investments. It's not a coincidence that they all got in the last quarter of this year and all of these new shits were listed on all these different platforms pretty much at the beginning of this year. That was so you could pump their fucking investments up and then they could rug you whenever they wanted to. It's basically what that is. But just so you can see, I mean, compare these charts. Do these two look identical? Do they look like they're running together? This is the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year right here. Beginning of the year. They look identical. They look like they run together because to me this looks like a fucking mountain that's steadily climbing. And this one looks like it don't know what the fuck it wants to do. And then it even dips and dips and dips. And then this one dips, goes up and dips again, while this one just goes on a straight fucking run. But then when you hit May, you hit that second week of May, all of them drop off. All of them. And then move very similarly, damn near identically. Back here in January, when GME and AMC and other meme stocks had their run, where are we at? Right in here, right in this area. These weren't tanking. These were actually going up. There we at? Right in there. Yep, right in this area. This is going up also. They didn't run together. There was no correlation between crypto and the stock market at this time. It was not until May. And when this shit went on a downtrend and an ugly run, just cascading, falling down, dead skis, all the other meme stocks and shit like that, all were doing very well in May. Up until they decided to boom shakalaka in June. And then while all that shit was dying in the end of June and July, this shit started going up again pretty well. Pretty well. But I mean, even here's XRP. XRP had a lawsuit going on, which is why theirs looks a bit different. Because there was a sell-off in like mid to late April. Bitcoin did the same thing. Mid to late April, had a sell-off. And then they... some news came out, looked like they were going to win their lawsuit, blah, 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 against the SEC, and people started buying in. So even during the sell-off, people were still trying to buy in. This shit froze people. The few days leading up to May, and then May, everyone froze. I was fortunate enough to get out like 3 days before this because I saw the patterns. I saw them. Like, I look at charts, hundreds of crypto charts a day at the same time, scrolling through them. And through April, some shit changed, and I'd be looking at 100, 150 charts at once, scrolling through, and they all started running the same toward like the last half of April, and especially in May. And I'd never seen it before, and all my years watching this shit, never, ever, ever. I'm talking currencies no one's ever even heard of on this chart that you can't even get unless you really know your way around a computer. And they all started running the same. And then I started seeing completely different cryptos running on different blockchains, running in 15-minute intervals at the same time during the day, every other day, well, every day pretty much. Like, for example, at 7:15 p.m., this thing would double in value, if not more. Shitty ass coin, less than $1 to get. And then another one that has nothing to do with this coin that was less than $1 would do the same thing at around 7:15, 7:30. Every single day it started doing that in the last half of April. That was when I got the fuck out of this shit. I was like, something weird's going on. I don't want nothing to do with it. And then boom, that shit fucking tanked. But anyway, you can very clearly see here, looking at these charts, none of these look identical. None of them, looking at them, from the beginning of the year till now. It was not until May. It was not until May that they all took a dive at the exact same time. They all started running in a very similar fashion, and they have continued to do so. And it is not a coincidence that this shit sold off. Big institutions have big positions in this. They control roughly half of its value. And it's not a coincidence that when the meme stocks started running up and started fucking their short positions, that all of a sudden they needed liquidity. They needed liquidity, and they needed it fast. And this actually looks like the same fucking robot that's controlling the majority of the stock market right now is now controlling crypto. It looks like they flipped the switch in May to have this bitch run all this shit. So my point was not that cryptos are moving together. That's moot. That doesn't even matter, but it did not start happening until May. So the assessment that people, that everyone knows that's whatever, no, that's completely wrong unless you just started investing in cryptos in the end of April and May. They have never, ever moved exactly the same, especially ones ran on different blockchains, especially ones with different utilizations. If anyone knows what that is, like there are coins out there that don't even have utilizations that people just throw their money into because they hope they'll get rich. People think that crypto is a scheme to get rich because it's been presented that way. But there are actually coins out there, ADA's one of them, Cardano is one of them, that have significant utilization and that will in the future. Those are ones worth investing in. Those are the ones that I'm invested in that are sitting locked up tight in my crypto account and some other accounts that are just sitting there earning interest. But I got rid of everything that I purchased up through April. From the beginning of the year up through April, I got rid of. And I only kept everything I got from 2020 and previous. And I'm not fucking with crypto at all. I completely expect, I personally, and I could very easily be wrong, this may be the correction that I was foreseeing, and it may just be smaller than I thought it was going to be. But my time frame was by the end of the year, January at the latest, Bitcoin would be cut in half. It would be around 25 grand, possibly lower than that. So we'll see. But yeah, my point was not that they moved together. That wasn't the point. That wasn't the news. No, the fact that they moved together is not even remotely close to newsworthy and has not been since I talked about it in May. But the fact that it is controlled and you can be rugged at any fucking second should concern you. It should greatly concern you. And that's not a safe, sound investment. There's so much shit that you don't see or know about in crypto that makes it very difficult to gauge how any of it will move. Which is why I don't invest in it anymore. Not right now, at least. And whoever says that it's going to boom after, I'm assuming you meant after the short squeeze. Yeah, you're 100% right. Which I don't think that it's strange that in this time frame, crypto was zero zero regulation really, and a bunch of YouTubers and Redditors saying once we get our money, we're pouring it all into crypto. I don't think it's a coincidence that this seemingly looks like it's being controlled while they're trying to get regulations in order and shit, and while the squeeze in general is being controlled because the American government wants your money. If they're going to give you fucking money and allow you to have it, they want it back. You're not about to hide it in crypto where they can't get a piece of it. And every fucking person on YouTube and every fucking idiot on Reddit was like, yeah, I'm putting all my fucking money into crypto as soon as I get my squeeze check. It's all going into crypto, crypto, crypto. Fuck the American government. Ha ha ha. People already use this to for tax evasion, laundering money, all kinds of shit they use crypto for. And millions of people voiced that they're going to do the same thing pretty much. Whether they knew that that's what they'd be doing or not, it is what you'd be doing. It is what it is. But just so you can see, cryptos do not move together. They never have moved together, ever. Unless it was same currencies on the same blockchain, you would sometimes see a lot of them similarly move together, but never two different blockchains ever have they moved exactly the same, ever. And if that shit right here doesn't fucking bother you, more power to you. Good luck with your investment. I hope you make a killing. That is like negative to me. No. This is why I do not have a gigantic position anymore in AMC. This is why I do not leave my money just sitting in AMC. Because it moves right alongside of several other fucking stocks. And they're not supposed to do that. No stocks are supposed to do that. No cryptos should be doing this. That means they're controlled. That means someone out there has a lot of control over your money in these investments. Fuck that. Have fun with that. I wish you the best. It's just not for me right now. And that's coming from someone who was super psyched about, cryptos heading into this year. Super psyched. I'm very happy about them being listed on, Robinhood platforms, Webull platforms, getting them out there to more Americans and new investors. And I now do not invest in crypto at all. Not until they start chilling out. And at least not until I see the correction I'm expecting to see. And this isn't it. But it could be. Like I said, I don't fucking know. Nobody knows. That's just my own assessment from researching this shit and watching this shit for quite some time. So, your investments, you make your own decision. And again, I wish you the best. I really, really do. Just be careful. But this is another investment where I would tell you when you go, wow, take your fucking money. Take your money. Because now people are going fuck and not wow. They were going wow. And now they're going fuck. And I really, that was literally like 3 weeks. 3 weeks that crypto kind of went on and off, took a big dip for the most part, and then just kept crashing. It took 3 weeks of crashing. It went back up. It went up like this in similar fashion, but then fucking crashed again a lot. So be careful, please, 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 please. And again, no one's out here forcing any of you to believe anything I say. I really don't give a fuck if you do or don't. The information is just there. There's a reason why I show shit, especially multiple charts at once, and looking at them on a yearly basis so that you can see the differences and see where patterns did begin that look very, very strange, to show you evidence of why I believe what I believe and why I think what I think. So that just because you read something on Reddit or you saw someone else's YouTube channel or your fucking friend Frank 2 blocks down told you Bitcoin's going to $100,000 in the next month or two, you can at least see tangible evidence and make that decision for yourself. But history this year has tended to repeat itself both ways, both up and both down, in all these markets at this point, crypto and the stock market. You just got to be able to recognize the patterns and pray to God that you get in good, get in at the right time. Gonna have to be keeping an eye on Catapult, man, because if they're about to try to start some bullshit with the dark pool on this motherfucker, which I'm not saying that's what it is, I still don't think we have enough retail interest. It definitely has not moved enough. It hasn't even eclipsed really 100%. I mean, it has eclipsed 100% of its all-time low. But, it's not anything that I think they would start routing shit off to a dark pool or anything yet, or trying to do any of that sneaky, fucked up shit. But who knows? Because, it's the same usual suspects involved. So, would not be shocked. Would not be shocked at all. But yeah, if I see some sick, ugly changes, because that volume killed a lot of my options today. I'm down a couple hundred because the volume just crushed options. But last week was the same. Like Monday and Tuesday were kind of the same. They had some nice movement in the beginning of the day, and then they really flattened out. And then it kind of wasn't until midweek that they started kicking up and making big moves. It'll also depend on the after hours and pre-market. I don't really think they're at a point to where they have to worry about it in that fashion, where they'd be siphoning out volume, but who fucking knows, man. One thing I do know is this isn't people selling off. This shit here is shorting. All of this. Every bit of this is shorting. And again, this is a hard to borrow stock, so we'll see what the options chain looks like. Oh yeah, that makes bloody perfect sense. I have not looked at the options chain yet this week. That's why 750 is so very important to them and very crucial to them, and that's why they're fucking shit up right now, trying to. You see this? Do you see how lovely this is? Do you? This is how AMC used to be structured back in the day. Back in the day. It wasn't until that shit went. I mean, I had $40 contracts when it was in between $10 and $12, but that's because they were damn near 2 months out and they were cheap as fuck. But there still wasn't a lot of people that had them. Not until it went over 14 and ended up going into the 20s. That's when people started pouring into those. But that's, yeah, that makes sense right there. That bitch hits 750 and goes. That's going to be a problem for them. That is going to be a big problem for them. That's going to shoot this shit to fucking $9, $10 easily. Easily. And they'll have a fucking heart attack. All these shorts they're taking out now, they'd be in the negative immediately. Oh, that would suck for them, huh? But that's beautiful. This is a well-structured options chain right here. It's so low. Right now, it's at a pivotal point. I would like to see more $5. I mean, I got quite a few, but that's not bad. I'd like to see more of those. That would combat a lot of the shorting and pump it up. But still, if this shit hits 7.5, if it can get pushed up there, I mean, this is good. This is a great sign for the week. Retail and everyone has a target. That's our target. We're not far from it. We damn near, I think we may have hit it today. I know we hit 749 or 746, that's what it was. So we didn't quite hit it. We hit 746 and then they got scared to death and started shorting the fuck out of it. Alright, well that makes sense. So, not bad news. Yeah, I don't like the volume. It just kind of fucking, that's crazy, man. All the sell volume was double, triple, quadruple. And it just looked like for a minute there that buy. Look at that fourth. It just looked like for a while. How you go from 19,000 to 4,000, and then 6,000 to 19,000? What? Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Um, who knows? All I know is we got plenty of time. Plenty of time, and this shit is still cheap. So I just don't want people freaking out about their options because, like I said, you should have them out till the 17th at a minimum. And as long as you didn't buy like a bunch of 20s for the 17th or something like that, and you kept it around 10 or under 10, don't be freaked out. Even if you got some October contracts and they lost a lot of value, that happens. I mean, if volume dissipates, they'll start losing money fast. They just will. But all you need is like tomorrow, all of that could be back. It could all come back tomorrow with a lot of volume, a lot of volatility in the morning. If it has a hard push towards 750 again, I mean, so for those of you new to options, that's the shit that you got to be able to just kind of not watch it sometimes. You just got to not watch it sometimes and, call it a day. Sometimes it's good to just make your plays, have your conviction in it, and not look at it again until the next day. Like, seriously, make your plays and don't even fucking watch it. Because that's how people lose a lot of money. You get emotional, you watch it, you see it going down, then you're looking at your portfolio and you're like, oh my God. Like I said, I'm down a couple $100 because there was no volume. Just from here, from this last run up, shit was looking pretty. And then it just, volume died. It died so bad. And these sharp moves hurt. And they know it. That's why they do it like this. These sharp moves and intervals steadily going down kills volatility, man. But again, don't stress it. That shit is a solid pre-market could literally bring all that back before the bell. So don't worry about shit like that. Let's be all right. All right, I'm out. Sorry, this was a little longer. Hopefully, again, that's watch the whole damn videos, please, before y'all comment and shit. Everything you need to know is in the video, despite what the title alone says. So, all right, I'm out.